5, interviews. But when you do something as big as you've done, man, you deserve 25 interviews.
I appreciate it. I'm just happy someone liked the book. That was my goal. I'm thrilled.
I say that. Hey, Code Keepers, we're here with the good brother Brendan, and I tell you, man, he has a great novel, and I'm going to call it a bestseller. I'm going to call it a bestseller right now. So I know you're saying, Seiko, what's this have to do with empowerment? Seiko, what's this have to do with Black empowerment? Stay tuned. All right, welcome to Get On Code, the Fly Guy Show, which is a series of melanated conversations focused on empowerment, health, wealth, and knowledge of self.
People think in binary choices because they are conditioned to.
And on the wall was a picture of a wolf and a lion. I think the wolf was the Democratic Party, the lion was the Republicans.
But the drug trade and all these illegal stuff that people do, that's still economics. It's just that they couldn't do it in a traditional system.
We're talking about melanated wealth.
So we can build wealth, but we just, for some reason, don't seem to be able to transfer it.
You had a great experience. Fine. That means nothing.
What were you told as a child about education? You had to be how many times better?
Every impression without an expression becomes depression.
All right, Code Keepers, we're here with the best-selling author of the Violin Chronicles.
Conspiracy.
Man, the Violin Conspiracy. I think it's going to be Chronicles. You're going to have a book after book after book. It's going to be the Violin Conspiracy Chronicles. I'm speaking that life. I'm speaking that in the life. Oh man, good brother Brendan, man, writing a book that's gotten this much acclaim has really have to be just a mind-blowing experience. Talk about that.
To say the least, it's been amazing. Just like we were talking offline a bit earlier, my goal wasn't to write, an earth-shattering novel. I just wanted to write a book that someone would enjoy. It was really cathartic because the experiences in the book that my main character Ray goes through, I went through a lot of those same experiences, and just having the validation that people say, "Wow, this is crazy. Stuff like this really happens." That was the best part of everything that's going on with this book.
Wow. I know with most really great novels, the main character has to go through a hero's journey. And I see a picture of Superman in the background. It looks like you may have some other comics in the background. I'm a Marvel man. Make mine Marvel, but I'll accept the Superman. We can hang with that. What?
See, that's just on this back wall. On the wall that you can't see in front of me, I got I got you.
Okay. All right. We'll make ours Marvel. So tell us about your hero's journey. If many things kind of resemble the things that happen in the Violin Conspiracy, tell us about your hero's journey.
Absolutely. I started playing violin when I was 9, and it was tough. You get called every name in the book. When you get to the point where you start to play for people, they don't take you seriously because people that look like you don't play violin. You can't do that. You're more of a hip hop person. This isn't for you. And you constantly have to prove yourself. It's always proving, and you have to go above and beyond and work 3, 4, 5 times as hard just to get half of the accolades that everyone else gets. And it's been it's been rough, but you just buck up and you do it, and that's what it's been like.
Wow. So embracing an instrument seems so far outside of some of the cultural constraints that we have had. Did you have any people that you looked up to, any mentors or any people who just you looked at and said, oh, wow, they went through the same thing that I'm going through, I'm assuming, if they can do it, I can do it. For me, it was Grover Washington Jr. Who was it for you?
Wow. I think the first real example of someone that I wanted to aspire to be like would be a college professor I had. His name is Dr. Ronald Crutcher. He's a black cellist. He's now the president of, I think it's University of Richmond. And he was in on my audition when I went to audition for college. And, he knew everything that I was playing. He knew what was going on with me. And he was like, yeah, okay, you can do this. You're good at this. I was like, whoa, you are a professor here? Really? I never thought I would see somebody who looked like me who plays a cello, no doubt, and he's good at it, and he's got his doctorate. And okay, this is encouraging. So yeah, it was him. I still look up to Dr. Crutcher.
Wow. Well, we'll do this 2 up and 2 down for VA. University of Virginia is right up the street from us, man. As a college and career counselor, I sent a couple of students there in my former years, man. It's a great school.
Yeah.
Great school. Did you attend that school?
No, I went to University of North Carolina at Greensboro.
Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. Well, tell us about the book, because the Get on Code show was all about empowerment, and there has to be a really intriguing story about empowerment in this. So tell us about the process. How did you start? How did you get to where you are now?
Well, let me give you a brief synopsis of the book. The Violin Conspiracy is a story of Ray, who discovers that his old family fiddle is actually a priceless Stradivarius violin. And that discovery catapults him into superstardom in the world of classical music. And right before the Tchaikovsky competition, which is basically the Olympics of classical music, his instrument is stolen. Will he compete? Will he get it back? Will he find out who took it? You got to read the book to find out. This was a project that I undertook in 2020 during the crazy pandemic. And, I'm sitting on the couch eating, getting fat all day long. It's like, all right, I need to do something else. And the events that took place with George Floyd, it was really an eye-opening time, I think, for a lot of people to realize that stories like stories in the Violin Conspiracy actually do happen. And it was very eye-opening for a lot of people. I had some resistance. They were like, "No, things like this don't happen. You're being melodramatic. This is too much. No, this is over the top." But then when George Floyd happened, whoa, wait a minute. Maybe things like this do happen. So I'm really glad that people are now receptive to receiving stories like this.
Wow. So who's the best person I can put my copy of the book? I'm almost finished with it now. So when I finish, who is the target market that I should just gift the book to?
Wow, I would think anybody really, and up a parent of a young child who is aspiring to do anything, whether it be sports or academics or arts, anything. It's one of those stories that you realize that support is so very important for success for not only young people but all people. Just anyone who's willing to be a mentor for anyone.
Wow. Support is necessary for success. Hey, Code Keepers, I think that's the empowerment moment there. Support is necessary for success. I love that. I love that. So who have been your support in this successful project?
Man, I mean, just from start to finish, I've had some great mentors. My violin teacher from college, Dr. Rochelle Vetter Wong, she taught me how to play the violin. She taught me how to teach. And in turn, I do that same thing with my students. I'm very honest with them. And if they do something great, I shout it to the world. If they do something crappy, I tell them how bad it is. But I also tell them what they can do to make it better. And I always demand hard work. My teacher was very demanding but nice about it. And I'm the same way, but just not so nice about it. I'm just really, really demanding.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that I really liked about the book is when I was about 10, my parents put a violin in my hand, and I played that violin until my violin teacher passed away.
Oh, wow.
And it kind of really just kind of broke my heart. So, but the beautiful thing is my son and then later my daughter both played viola and violin and viola. And even though I want to connect the viola and the violin, I realize they're two different things, and the string family are yelling at me right now, but but just to see that carry on really did my heart well. I know that passing on music is passing on culture.
Absolutely.
And one good thing about culture is culture does empower. Culture
100%.
does empower.
Yeah.
So you mentioned your students. Who are your students?
I mean, I've been a public school teacher, public and private school for 22 years, 23 years, and I'm no longer in the classroom. I teach kids from age 5 to age 65 now, violin and piano. And, I take everybody where they are and I try to take them further. I take everybody from whatever level they start at, that's where they start. It's not one size fits all for everybody, and I tried my best to take them to the next level.
Wow. So you provide that support so people can become success. As you said earlier, support requires success. I love that,
Absolutely.
man. I love that. So look, I know we can buy the book everywhere. You know, I got mine from Amazon.com. You can get it from a local bookstore, a local black bookstore, if you will, but you can find the book everywhere. What's your message to that person who has a story in them? Pass on that empowerment.
I want people, if you've got a story to tell, I want you to tell it, and don't be afraid to stand up and be who you are. Don't be afraid to explore something that you like, something that you love. If it's music, if it's art, if it's, singing, if it's sports, whatever it is that you love, do it to the best of your abilities, and don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it.
Right. Don't let anybody tell you can't do it. And look, we have examples of success. Now, success leaves clues. Uber success write books. So you wrote a book, you're an Uber success. Your book was highlighted on GMA, right?
Yeah, it was a Good Morning America book club pick for February. I almost passed out. It was great.
Wow. That's beautiful. So Code Keepers, look, we already have credentials. He's been vetted. Good Morning America has already said this book is the bomb. So we need to go ahead and blow it up. Pick up a copy as soon as you can. Share it with a young family. Share it with a parent so they can understand that, our children do need to have their own hero's journey so they can become the leaders that we require in the future. Our empowerment really blossoms when their empowerment blooms. So I love what you're doing, good brother. Brendan, keep doing what you're doing. Keep writing the books. Keep hitting them strings.
Thanks, man.
Man, any last words, brother? Because I know I don't have you for a long time.
No.
As you notice, he ended with a note. I want to say that was an A. It may have been a G.
It was more like a C.
It was a C. It was a C. Okay. You can tell that music's in your heart.
Oh, yeah.
Man. So, you know what? Empowerment never stops. What's your next move?
I've turned in the manuscript for my second book, and I'm going to start on book 3 this summer, and I'm practicing for a couple of concerts that are coming up. I'm playing a Tchaikovsky symphony next month, and I'm just doing a lot of playing, teaching, and writing. So I hope everybody gets to, check out my website, brendanslocumb.com, and see what's going on.
All right, Code Keepers, as we always say, get on code, share the code, teach the code, become the code. Our code is empowerment. His empowerment was showcased with his beautiful manuscript. What's your manuscript? What's your beautiful work? Make that beautiful work happen, and let's get on code. We love y'all. Peace. Thank you, Brendan.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, brother. I know you got to go. Bye.
Thanks, man.